Greetings, salutations, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Devon, and welcome to another Game Maker Extensions tutorial. Alright, so this is a little extension that I developed. It's actually very much based on my... if you watch my tutorials on structuring your game, this is pretty much that, but put together in a nice little extension that makes it's just so easy and so nice to use. So at the core, it is a controller management engine, but I call it my core because I do put a lot of stuff into it that I like to have available to me in pretty much any game that I create. I got the extension right here. Right at the time of this video, it's version 1.1, but you might get a different version later in the future because obviously I'm always developing these things. So anyways, what we have here, we have a couple of folders. Now, if we run the game, nothing incredible is going to happen. We're just going to get a couple of messages pop up just to indicate that objects are created. See, test 4, 3, 1, and 2. And then big green screen. But anyways, pretty much to initiate the engine, see this room underscore any here? You just need to have that as the first room that's loaded. That's it. And it will immediately, once everything is initiated, it immediately pushes to the next room. So first off, we got the DT underscore game underscore create script. This is, you can think of this as a create event for the game itself. Now, there's a couple of things in here. We got our core globals script, which contains a lot of, I'll just go ahead and pull this up for you. Contains a couple of global values that are pretty important to the engine that the engine uses, but you don't have to worry about that. So you can just skip over this. Game title, you can enter your title, your game version. This is for the screen handling. You can just set that to -1 if you have your own system. Otherwise, did I make a tutorial for that? I think I did. My full Windows script uses this number, and it's a very nice, very efficient little screen handling system. Now, here's the important stuff. Now, right here, you can add persistent objects or room controller objects, or specifically controllers. If you're doing stuff that's not controllers, you should be manually put these in the room. But the perk behind this system is the fact that you can manage your controllers in one place. You don't have to manually hop into each room and deal with that stupid little blue question mark that Game Maker likes to put in for objects that don't have a sprite or anything. You can just manage it all right here. It's nice, it's simple, it's clean. So here we go. We'll go ahead and start with persistent objects. Basically, all you do, and you can see I got some test objects here, and basically every single one of these objects just shows a message, with their name. So test 4 will show a message that says test 4. Test 3 shows a message test 3. Persistent objects are obviously objects that you want to exist throughout the entire game pretty much all the time. A good example of this would be some sort of score tracking, or if you have an object that handles game input, that would be a good place for this. You can just, all you do is you just call it, and this script is dynamic. You can add up to 16 arguments to it, and just keep on adding objects to it, and you can add persistent objects. And then if you add 16 to it, you can just simply call the script again and can just continue adding. Now, normal controllers are otherwise known as room controllers. Now, if you have controllers that are more specific to rooms, so like for instance, in a room that is mostly a menu, such as the main menu or the options menu, you may have a different set of controllers than a room that is actually in-game. So, for instance, you will not want to have your platforming engine running when all the player is doing is tweaking options, and you'll have different sets of controllers for all these different ones. So you could have a controller that's designated for menus, and then you can have a controller designated for your game engine itself. And based on what room the player is in, it will initiate these controllers. All that's needed for this to work is the controllers need to not be persistent, and it will just automatically create an instance of those controllers whenever the game starts. And this actually saves you from programming right into controllers themselves, on testing what rooms they're in, and having to program down to that level. You just enter it right here. You enter what room you want it to check for, and then if it's in that room, it will create these objects. Obviously, room_confirm is that green room. And in fact, I'll just go ahead and show you that here. So, yep, room core confirm. It's just a big green room, nothing more. Now, included with this engine, like I said, there's a couple of things here that I really like. Some of these scripts might look familiar. I know I did do a video on this script. This is my timer script. I don't think I did a video on this one, but this script is just so simple. It's just really nice. So with the built-in Game Maker rectangle script, you can make it an outline, but it's only 1 pixel wide, and there's no way to customize that. So this was actually a little script I made that just draws 4 lines and essentially it's variable with rectangle basically. It's kind of nice. This is a little script for testing if a point is on a line or not. More useful for some things, not others. I know I did a video on this one. Show message. This is a really simple alternative to the show message script. This is actually one of the first scripts I've ever developed. But if you use the show message script for debugging and you find yourself with a whole bunch of them, this is very useful because it tells you exactly what object and what event it's being called from. So very useful. And here's the full window script. This is what handles the screen handling. All right, then rotation. Now, I did not develop these scripts, but they are so freaking useful. But I do have credits. I made sure to find his website, and there's a link right there to the forums where they talk about these scripts some more. So these are just really useful rotation scripts. Definitely recommend checking it out. This is also I also went ahead and threw in my little object optimization engine that I developed, which it's not used in the tests, but it's fairly well explained how it works. So what you have is you have this script, and you would run it on step, within some sort of control object. And what it does is any objects that are specified that are outside the view will be deactivated and will not reactivate until the view is, close enough to them or they're back within view. Now, that is very useful because you can limit the number of objects that are actively running in the game fairly simply. And then this one here is useful, activate nearby. So say you have a bullet that you fire. Now, when you fire the bullet, you're not going to want the bullet to be able to go through walls. And that's exactly what's going to happen with this engine, because it would, if you specify walls as something that's going to deactivate if too far away, it's going to deactivate the wall and the bullet will just keep on going. While in this case, you can just tell the bullet, hey, within 50 pixels of yourself, activate any objects. And any objects that are not activated, it will go ahead and activate those objects. So, very useful. And the bullet will hit the wall, and there's no chance someone could bug it so they can shoot through the walls, which we definitely would not want. Let's see, controller management. You saw these over at over in our game create script here. Very simple, very very straightforward. And yep, there's a room controller. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a very small little extension that I developed, but my God, is it useful. Like I said, it powers every single one of my games and all my projects that I developed. It's just one of those wonderful little things that makes your life just a little bit easier. Well, that's pretty much it, and this is probably a record for definitely the shortest video I've ever produced. Hopefully this engine has been useful to you. I'm putting in the description a link to download this. You'll find it on my website. Oh, hi, phone. You'll find it on my website, so download it. Oh, my goodness, I'm popular. So download it, check it out, and hopefully it's useful to you. Thank you very much, and happy gaming.